Hello, y'all. This is Christian Flores, your host with Aspire Generational Wealth. Today we have Kenny today talking about his journey in the financial field.
How's it going?
It's going good. So Kenny, tell us about yourself.
So first off, Kristen, thanks for having me on here. It's great to connect and part of this. So yeah, like I said, my name is Kenny Ingersoll. I am a financial educator and representative, or basically a financial advisor. I'm also a money mindset and dream big coach and author and podcaster as well.
So when you say money market, what do you mean by that?
Sorry, what was that?
When you said money mindset, what do you mean by that?
I help people get past old paradigms and roadblocks they have around money, and things that worked 20, 30 years ago that may not work today, things they grew up with and all that sort of stuff.
Do people ever come to you asking about like Bitcoin and stuff like that, since that's the new thing?
I don't do a whole lot with crypto or Forex. I do get a few questions here and there, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, I was just curious because it's kind of like the new thing. But when you say like the old ways, do you mean like investing in stocks and
No, it's more like 20 years ago or whatever, a lot of companies offered more pensions and retirement options and stuff than they do today. But people are still in the mindset that they'll have that at retirement. That's just one of the mindsets that we have to shift with. Some of them still do and whatnot, but we just have to shift and adjust, and how to prepare so they're not 100% reliable on that. It's just one example of an old paradigm or an old system that is not quite the same anymore.
Okay, so like not relying on just one source of income.
Yeah, and for example, back in 20 years ago, 15 years ago, there was, let's call it, 3 major vehicles for retirement. Now there's a whole lot more, and they're more customizable and a lot more options versus just the 3 that we might be still stuck in.
Does what are the 3 that most people are like? 401k, like insurance.
Yeah, like Social Security, 401k, pension, very familiar things like that. Excuse me. But now there's a whole bigger variety, and some of those are not as prevalent as they used to be. And so it's like a technology, if you will. If you're on a rotary phone today, you're missing out on a whole bunch of features that your iPhone can give you.
Okay. What advice do you have for like the younger generation?
Younger generation, I'll be totally blunt and honest, is you don't know everything. Because when I got out of high school, I thought I knew it all, like an 18 or 20-year-old always does and stuff, but I had no clue that I had no clue. So just be open-minded to knowing that there's a lot to learn, and also with that, I would start looking at those options now versus waiting for 15, 20 years or whatever.
When is the best time for someone to start, like you just said, think now, but a lot of people think when they're 30, oh, I still got time.
So yeah, obviously if you haven't started, now is the best time, but as soon as possible. Basically, I wish I would have started when I was 10 in some of this, and then not catching up at 40, essentially.
Went blank. So, do you like recommend people to start the stock market? Do you recommend like the drip method, or do you invest in what they know?
We don't do a whole lot with the stock market directly, so I can't speak a whole lot with that, but I do more like the savings, and some of our stuff is in the stock market, but we don't directly do with the stock market.
Okay. So like, how about with people that want to save? I know some people are afraid to save because they need the money now. Like, what advice would you give them, like, to start saving?
Well, I would go with the pay yourself first, and set some savings aside, whether that's $5, $10 a month, paycheck, whatever. And then there's plenty of other opportunities to make that extra $10. Go if you're able to go DoorDash for an hour, work an extra hour of overtime, go mow someone's lawn, so pay yourself first and put that savings aside, and then you'll figure out a way to make up the difference, and you'll be more resourceful and creative with the money you have coming in.
Okay. How about what are your thoughts with insurance?
You're talking life insurance, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first off, I think it's vitally important to have some form of insurance, even if it starts with very basic and very simple, and then upgrade to a more encompassing plan and type. But even for younger folks, your 18, 20-year-olds, even 30-year-olds, think you don't need it, you're in good health, all that stuff, I would still highly recommend getting some coverage. And there's so many more options with insurance today than there were even 10 years ago. And I can't go into a whole lot of detail on here, but there's such a variety of options that you can pick from and customize and make utilized for you and what your needs are.
Yeah, I always tell people to get it when they're young, because you can get it now, you're healthy, but like, let's say something happens, there's a chance that they might decline you. And it's cheaper now when you're younger than when you're older, because the older you get, the more it becomes more expensive.
Absolutely.
All right. You also said you were a mentor, so how do you advise people? How does that process go?
So depending on what the client wants and what they're looking for, I mentor them specifically on the money aspect of it, and and also starting or pulling their dreams off the shelf, dusting off their dreams and getting them working on their dreams again. But yeah, a lot of the money mindset, the old paradigms, the old ways or whatever that people are often have stuck in their mind, I help them overcome that, see money for what it is, see money in a different way, different ways they can use the money, all sorts of things like that.
Yeah, like money is the tool to get you what you want.
Exactly. Money is a tool.
Okay. When did you start the journey of being a mentor?
So mentor, I've been doing about 3 years now on the mentor side, but I've been doing the finance for over 7 years. So
What got you interested in that?
Um, Somebody really close to us introduced me to it, and I realized how much I didn't know even at that point. And once I dug more into it and got my household taken care of, I realized that more people needed to at least know this knowledge. That way they can have the tools to do with as they will. But I wanted to share and help people to be successful and relieved of those financial burdens like I was able to do for myself.
Okay. What are some habits that you can tell you tell your people to create so that can help them through this process?
So, like we mentioned before, is to pay yourself first. Set some sort of savings aside. Put a designation for it, even if it's it could be something random. It could be totally off the wall random. Collecting dust in my bank account, whatever you want to call it. Put some designation. Maybe you need a car in 6 months, or maybe you want a camera or some class or mentorship you want to take. Put some sort of designation, and if you want, you can act like that's a bill, and get in the mindset that this needs to be paid and taken care of, and then put it aside there regularly. And then also getting a mentor, getting some sort of mentorship.
Okay. It's kind of like a sinking fund. That's what I do. I tell myself, like, hey, it's a bill, but I pretend like I need to spend it, and so whenever something comes, I'm prepared for it.
Exactly.
Okay. So you said you also had a podcast. What is your podcast about?
So my podcast is called Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities, and we talk about living your passion, fulfilling your purpose, and exploring the possibilities. Like I mentioned before, pulling the dreams back off the shelf, knowing and that you can do this, and exploring the things that are out there. A lot of times we get so bogged down and we have blinders on what's out there available for us. We wake up, we work, we watch TV, go to bed. But there's so many other options and opportunities, and you can live your passion while still working. And so we just help people through the journey and help them to realize what's possible.
I like that. How long have you been podcasting?
I've been podcasting for about 3 years. This particular one I started just over a year ago.
Okay. I like it. So, like, if someone's lost, what would you tell them? Like, I say they don't, they've given up. What would you tell them to get back on to their dreams?
Well, I'd first figure out what their dreams are and why they started. Why did they dream that? Why do they want that? Why do they go after that? Who are they doing it for? What are they doing it for? And then, just basically reignite the fire underneath them, and help them get past the roadblocks and help them get rid of some of the negative stuff that's going on in their brain, the self-doubt and the negative self-talk.
I feel like that's hard, but you got to start somewhere.
So yeah, and as when you get into it, you'll find that saying it's hard is even a paradigm that's putting a roadblock in your own way. So it's very freeing when you get into it and you really start to understand and apply it.
Do you believe in the law of attraction?
Absolutely. I have witnessed that too many times not to.
Yeah, that's what kind of came to my mind, because I just said it's hard, and I was like, well, I just said it's hard. It's gonna be hard. So
exactly. You become what you think about and what you let sink in. So if you say it's going to be hard, then it's going to be hard.
Yeah, that's why I was like, dang, I just did it to myself. But that's what I'm reading about, is like more about the law of attraction. Just like you just said, what you think is what you are.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of quotes behind me here that help me remind that, because I'll do the same thing sometimes still. I'm like, oh, this is hard work or whatever. Then I'm like, no, scratch that.
Yeah, and I got to do that, because sometimes I just say to myself, and then I'm like, oh, there I go. So, is there any people in this like that you've inspired to be like?
What was that?
Is there any people that you've inspired, that you've seen, that you want to be like?
So a few mentors that I have and that I follow, a couple of the big names I'll point out. One is Ed Milet.
Yes, I just
And
heard about him.
yeah, I love Ed Milet. He's such a great guy. Grant Cardone and Bob Proctor.
All three are good. Have you ever heard of Jim Rohn?
Oh yeah, I love Jim Rohn. There's a whole bunch of good ones. Jim Rohn is one of them, and if Bob Proctor says he's mentored by Jim Rohn, you know something's good there.
Yeah, Jim Rohn. I don't know, something about him. Just the way he talks is, um, it's like that was like what 40 years ago, and everything he talked about is still current now. And it's like, wow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It still applies 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was listening to him this morning, and he was like what we were just talking about, like the law of attraction, like what we think, what we do is what we become. And that's why the question came. But with the Ed Milet, so is he like are you like subscribed to his thing?
Yeah, I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel. I've got one of his books. Um, he's got a lot of great content. And one thing I would say, to all of those that we've talked about, don't discredit it just because it's free and on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff that's not so great out there, unfortunately, but those guys have some awesome, amazing stuff.
Yeah. It's just people have to like go out there and look for it.
So, yeah, just edmilet.com or YouTube Ed Milet, and you'll find him.
Yeah, I heard him. You have you ever heard of Andy Frisella?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard him through Andy Frisella. He was like, we signed him, and then I heard it through Eric Thomas podcast, and I was like, man, this got to be a big deal if like these two people are talking about him. So I looked him up, and I was like, wow, I'm missing out.
So, yeah, he's one of my favorite, top three.
Yeah, and then Grant Cardone. I love Grant Cardone because he makes people think like they can be bigger than what they are.
Yeah, a lot of that positive self-talk. He does a lot of that. So, yep.
What do you like advise people to go onto the real estate journey?
I don't do a whole lot of real estate advising right now. I've done real estate myself a little bit, but I don't advise. I don't give advice on real estate. I'm not against it. I just don't give advice or mentorship in the real estate space directly right now.
Yeah, especially right now with like the prices.
So, yeah. Mostly because I'm not as active in that space. So I just, that's not my focus at the moment. So that's why I don't give advice or mentorship in that space. I know a lot of great people that are better suited at that currently for real estate than me, but I don't do that in that field right now.
What are some books that have helped you?
So one of the top ones, hands down, is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So there's a lot of great stuff. I study that thing every day, and it's life-changing if you'll let it be.
Yeah, it has a lot of gems. And like I said with Jim Rohn, but Napoleon Hill was way before then, and it's still a lot of things that we can do today in our lives.
Yeah, if you just study those 4 or 5 people that we mentioned, you'll be very pleasantly amazed at the transformation you'll go through.
Have you ever read like The Richest Man of Babylon?
I haven't yet.
That's a good book. It's kind of like it's a good book that you could tell like your clients, because it talks about like paying yourself, you know, slowly making your money work for you and not working for money. So it's a really good book.
I've read a little bit and heard little clips of it, and I've had others read and say they've read it and recommended it, and those are sources that I highly trust. So I would agree with your recommendation of it as well.
Yeah, it's a great book. Sorry, I have some questions. I think I've asked this, but I'm gonna ask in a different way. What are some habits that successful people need to do?
Some habits, strictly financially or just in general?
General in life and financial.
So one of them would be clear on your goal, and constantly review your goal and refine that. And then 2 would be to read and study daily. Money wise, again, pay yourself first, get clear on those goals as well, and be coachable.
Have you ever heard of the SMART method?
I have.
One I try to for my goals, I try to make sure they're smart, because I lose vision if it's not in that like order.
Yeah, and some methods work better for others and stuff, and some goals I do the SMART method, some goals I don't quite follow the SMART method on, but
what are some other methods?
So it just depending on what applies, maybe well, like for me, all of the SMART applies for some goals, but maybe on another goal it's more of the S versus the R, more of the, so just kind of things like that as well, or how I approach them, or kind of, so just different approaches, I guess you could say, for different people.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at the my questions. So what are the biggest challenges you faced through this journey?
Getting out of my own way, having that self-doubt, that non-belief, that why is this going to work for me? That's for other people, not for me. So just getting out of my own way.
It's like the saying goes, you are your worst critic, and you get yourself.
You can be your best ally or your worst enemy.
That's all the mindset thing. So with finance, what are some books that you would recommend people to read, like outside of, like, I guess, Think and Grow Rich? What are some books that come to your mind?
So yeah, Think and Grow Rich could do a lot of the principles that will definitely help with your finances, but a lot of Grant Cardone's books are really good, like the Millionaire Booklet and the 10X Rule. So those would be some great starting points. and and there's, Tony Robbins has some good stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Tony Robbins is good because, he was mentored by Jim Rohn.
so yeah. So any of those would be great sources to study.
Okay. So with earlier, what you've learned what did you learn from it? And how has it helped you be where you are right now?
So, like with Think and Grow Rich has helped me get out of my own way, and I've been able to get past the hurdles and roadblocks and go a lot further than I've ever gone before. And then with like Grant Cardone and 10X rule, I'm dreaming bigger than I did before I read it, and I'm giving myself permission to go bigger and beyond normal.
Yeah. Grant wants you to think crazy. He wants you to think big.
Yeah, he wants you to think real big and then go bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are some podcasts that you listen to that have helped you?
Oh, I listen a lot to Ed Milet, and then I YouTube a lot of Bob Proctor and Jim Rohn, and Tony Robbins. All the people we've mentioned, I listen to them all the time.
Do you listen to them daily, or is just whenever you're feeling like you need to?
Daily. Sometimes it'll be Bob, some days it'll be Grant, some days it'll be Tony or whoever, or some days I'll listen to 2 or 3 of them.
Okay. You put like any daily habits and rituals that you think that have helped you to lead to success?
So, yep, daily study of their material and what they're telling you, and not just from those people, but also if you got a good mentor, following what they're telling you and doing the daily homework, the daily study. I write down my goals, affirmations day and night, and I physically write it down on paper every day. Those have been huge impacts.
Man, I had a great question. Oh, I got it. So with the mentor process, how does one go about finding it? Like finding a reliable mentor?
So first off, you got to find out what you're looking for in a mentor, or at least an idea of what you're looking for. I'm an analogy guy, so let's say you're looking for dinner, and you at least want pizza. So you narrowed it down to pizza. Now you're not in the hamburger space anymore, or the Chinese food space anymore, or whatever. And if that's all you narrow it down to the first step, then just go there. Maybe you got to try Little Caesars, maybe you got to try Domino's, maybe you got to try whatever, and then continually refine that. Excuse me. And it may end up being that you switch mentors more than once. You have multiple mentors, because you'll go with mentor, then it's not quite the same path anymore, certainly nothing negative. And so you'll refine and adjust to a different mentor. And that's also not to imply that you change mentors because they didn't tell you what you wanted to hear. A good mentor is going to tell you what you need to hear. they're gonna be real with you. They're gonna be honest, blunt, and upfront. And if that's causing you to switch mentors, then you're not gonna get anywhere. So and then they'll help you continually refine what you're looking for and what your goal and dream is. And then put you down that path.
Kind of like you just outgrew them, so you just need to find someone who is on the level you want to aspire to.
Yeah. And then, once you've kind of more refined what you're looking for, find a mentor that's where you want to be and knows how to get you there, and then jump on their bandwagon and do what they say you do.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I've been like in the process of like, I feel like I need a mentor. I tell myself Jim Rome's my mentor, but I know I need probably one like in person, you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
kind of, it's hard though, because you see, I don't know, I don't want to call them like gurus, because you never know, but I just don't want to like invest and then not get what I expect. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, and that could be another roadblock. And I'm certainly not saying, just start throwing mud at a wall and hope it sticks. But there's going to be times that you might be in that scenario. But if you look for the growth and the good that come from it, even if that's finding what you don't want, then that's going to help you get closer to what you do want. You can spend $40 on a book that you hate, but you could still learn something valuable from it. And I like how you said invest, because if you look at it as an investment versus a cost, or I spent this money, then that's also going to help you have the right frame of mind going into it. You're investing this, you're going to get something out of it. You may not recognize it at first, or it may not come right away, or in the form that you want, or you thought it was going to come. But if you're the right mindset, you'll get something valuable out of it that's going to help you.
Yeah, that's what I say. I tell people all the time. Maybe not be now, but you got to change your vocabulary, because if you say you spin, then it's obviously going to be a negative. But if you obviously think investment, or what will come from this, it's gonna change your mind or your life.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do you think you need coaches in all aspects, like health, like wealth, gym, all those kind of aspects?
I think there is a time and a place for each area, because if you try to focus on 20 different things, it's like chasing 5 rabbits. How many of those are you going to catch?
None.
But if you're focused on your finances or your mindset, usually other things are going to fall into place more. It might help with this, and this. And then you can add a little of this over here, maybe emphasize more on the health and a little less on the finance, because you got that taken care of. And then that's going to also bring in and help with this, and this. So I think if you do 1 or 2 mentors, coaches kind of thing, but you don't want to be chasing 5 rabbits.
When do you know it's time for a mentor?
Short answer is, I think always is a good time for a mentor. You can never not learn or not gain from a mentor. Given that you find the right mentor and stuff like we talked before, or whatever. But if you're in tune with intuition, and Bob Proctor talks a lot about this, and Jim Rohn and many others as well. But if you're in tune with intuition, you'll know what to do. You'll know the next step to take, the timing, the people, if they're a good fit or not.
So the timer is about to end. Where can people find you?
So I'm all over social media. Just Facebook is my main one that I'm on. And I'm just look up Kenny Ingersoll, you'll find me. So all my contact info's on there.
And if you send me like, do you have like a link tree?
So I do have a scheduling link.
Oh no, I was gonna say like a link.
Sorry.
It's like everything in one, like where people can find your podcast.
I've got a website that's got all that. I'll send you.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just put it in the bio so that people can find you.
Perfect. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you. It's been great being on your show, and hope to be on soon.
Thank you. We'll definitely do another one. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.